Kelly K 102.5 FM. Good morning to you on your Tuesday. It's November 7th, 2023. This is Community Conversations. K, the one that's in the studio with you. And this is our monthly Homeowners Corner segment. And joining us is Mr. Corey Mills of Cadence Bank, also known as Mr. Lender. And today we're going to talk about your FICO score. There are 5 key ingredients that determine this. And of course, we're doing this topic as getting ready to go into the holiday season. Of course, we know a lot of people are going to be shopping for gifts for family, friends, and loved ones, but just kind of want to just make you aware of some things to keep in mind as you go through the shopping season.
All right, good morning, Mr. Kell. Thank you all for having me this morning here at KLEK and our Homeowners Corner segment. And this morning we're going to talk about, we know we're going into the holiday season, and if you're in the market, preparing yourself to purchase a home sometime next year, whether it's first quarter, second quarter, whatever your time frame may be, if that's one of your goals, I'm gonna give you all some little nuggets on what to look at when you're going into the holiday season and how your credit scores are factored in, and how does FICO consider these scores and what percentage is what on the actual usage, and how that's weighed out and scaled out. So going into this holiday season, I mean, everybody, we're going to spend, we want to do what we need to do, but we need to do it responsibly. We need to utilize our debt to the point to where it's going to help you versus hurt your score going forward. So I got some key things here that I want to talk about today, and we're going to look at the 5 key ingredients that your FICO scores consider. Okay, so first, the biggest thing that's on your FICO score, how it's considered, is going to look at the payment history. So are you paying that bill on time? Are there any 30-day late, 60-day late, 90-day late? So remember, again, I can't emphasize, I know we're going into the holiday season, and we're going to be tempted to run up that credit card just to, make our loved ones happy and get them gifts, but also let's consider to be disciplined with your spending. So 35% of that, what they consider on their scores, come from your payment history. Again, that's making sure you're paying that stuff on time, no lates. If it's due, when it's due, try to pay it before that. If you can, make sure you don't get any late payments, because that's going to impact your score. The next thing we're going to look at, 30% of it, is the amount of debt. Remember, I think we may have spoken about previously on one of the shows that you want to keep your usage rate about below 30%. So let's give an example. If I got a $1,000 credit card, I want to keep that usage rate below 30%. Now, you can go over, but that's a healthy usage rate's about 30%. Again, $300 on $1,000, that's your 30% equation right there. So if you can and be intentional about how you're going into the holiday season, if you have multiple cards, try to keep all of them within that 30% on each card. If you got to spread the debt out, try to keep it that way on each individual line of credit if you can. So you want to definitely monitor the amount of debt and the usage. And then the next thing they're going to look at that weighs pretty much on your FICO scores, they're going to look at the length of the credit history. We've talked about that before. The length of, the account that you have open as far as a revolving account, you definitely want to keep those lines of credit open. Whether if you say, hey, I'm going to pay this off and I just want to shut it down, try not to shut that card off if possible. You just want to maybe use it just a little bit. If you're going to buy a $2 or $3 item on a card, just to keep it open and to show that length of your credit history. Because once you close that account out, it's going to take away on your credit history. Or the length of your credit history. So another factor at 10% of the way of your FICO score, you're going to look at new credit. So if you're going into the holiday season, I know it's going to be enticing. A lot of businesses may have some special sales if you apply for a line of credit or apply for their card, their department store card. You may want to reconsider that, if you can, because once they pull it, it could show as an inquiry on your score, and it could possibly ding your score a little bit. So take that into consideration when you're going department shopping, and they're going to offer you 5-10% off if you apply for one of the cards. If you can, try not to, because it's going to ding your credit. But if you have to, just to get that discount and you feel like it's worth it, you feel like I'm making a $1,000 purchase and I'll get 10% off, 15% off. That's $150 off on that purchase if you sign up for that card. But remember, whatever that debt to income, I mean, not the debt to income, but the usage amount, you got to take that into consideration as well. So kind of think about and be strategic on the things that you're doing this holiday season, when you're spending, when you're shopping, and when you're getting these discounts thrown in your face. Just think about it before you apply for anything. If you're in the market of trying to keep your credit score up over the next few months. The next thing that's going to show is the credit mix. So if a credit mixer is, I got, revolving debt, I may have a car note, whatever may be a different type of credit situation. You want to have that mix of your types of credit on your report. So whether it's installment, revolving, or that type of credit, that's one of the things that also has a 10% weigh on your FICO score and what they're considered. So I touched those. Let's see here.
And let's just for those tuning in. So on your FICO score, 35% is your payment history,
Yes.
30% is amount of debt, 15% is length of credit history, 10% is new credit, and 10% is credit mix.
Correct. So that's pretty much how they look at that 100% scale of how they look at your credit scores or give you that consideration of your score calculation.
Okay, so how can a person check their credit score?
Well, one of the things definitely you can go to annualcreditreport.com. That's one of the third-party entities that we like to use that you can get it for free. I want to say that they do it. You can get it free every month. I don't know if they changed that or not recently, but you can get one free credit report from all three bureaus once a month. So they would not give you your credit scores. I want to say they may charge you for that, but they will give you your actual content of your credit. So if you're going to just want to see what's on your actual credit report, who is that company, what's the contact number, what's their address, if you see any discrepancies on there, all that information is going to be in the annual credit report that they give you. So you can start preparing yourself now to reach out to these companies. If there are any discrepancies on it that you feel like that's not yours or you want to dispute somehow, you definitely will have that information to reach out to those different businesses on that particular credit report.
Okay, now you mentioned that 30% is optimal usage on a card, but what would be considered high usage? What would be considered too much?
Well, once you get over that 50%, then you will start seeing your credit score might start declining a little bit. So the higher you get towards maxing it out, 30% is going to be that sweet, excellent spot that you want to be at. If you're going to 50, it's not going to hurt you too bad. But once you get close to that 100 and maxing out that credit, it's going to start really impacting your score.
Okay, so you definitely want to make sure that you keep that under 30% so that you don't get your score dinged or anything like that.
Yes, definitely. So remember, going out this holiday season, the first quarter, we just say Thanksgiving, you're going to have all these sales going on. You might want to run up the tab and get these deals out here. But if let's say this scenario, you're looking to go and buy, you're preparing to buy a home maybe third quarter, March, April next year. So you want to look at that timeline. You're starting here. If you have to run up your cars to do what you have to do for this holiday, just have you a plan of action to, once the holiday season is over, what's the strategy on paying that debt down so you can get your scores back up? Because, if you have to operate within that situation and use your credit to do what you have to do, understand that it's going to impact your scores to where they may go down and what's going to be your plan of attack to get those scores back up if you're in the market to purchase a home. So it's one of the things we're going to look at as far as on the mortgage perspective. You know, you'll give yourself a couple months to, let's say, for example, you might get a refund check coming up for tax season. I like to say that's anticipated, a refund anticipation, but if you know for sure that you're going to get that money and you want to do what you need to do for Christmas, for the holidays, then just make sure you have a plan of action in place to pay the debt back down once the holiday season is over.
Okay, so we talked about FICO scores, but what is actually considered a good FICO score?
Okay, well, a good FICO score, let's go back to this here, because we can have good, or we can have excellent, and we can have fair. So once we're looking at a good credit score, we're looking at 670 to 739. It's considered a good credit score. Now I'm gonna scale back a little bit. What's considered a poor credit score is 580 or below. What's considered a fair credit score is 580 to 669. Then I just went over the good. It was 670 to 739. A very good score is 740 to 799, and an exceptional credit score rating is 800 plus. So that's kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. Pretty much on mortgages, 640, 660 is going to get you in the house, where you can get any pretty much loan option. You know, FHA, conventional, VA, USDA. You're at a 660 on up, you're pretty much in the game. You know, you can pretty much have a selection that you can choose from on different type of mortgages or loan types, sorry.
Okay, so you mentioned about annualcreditreport.com where you can get your credit profile, but is there a site where you can get your actual FICO score?
Now, with annual credit report, like I said, they will give you one with your actual scores on it, but I think they charge a fee to give you that. I don't know the actual price that they do charge, but as far as going to one that I know is valid, that's the one, you know, annualcreditreport.com. Now, you have some different agencies out here where you can do your credit monitoring and things of that nature, but sometimes those vary. But definitely from annualcreditreport.com, they're going to give you all those 3 bureaus, breaking it down, and you can also, like I said, you can purchase the actual credit report with the scores.
Now, does actually requesting this report actually affect your credit itself?
Ooh, that's a good question. With annual credit report, I don't think it does affect your score once you go through them as far as getting your credit scores and the actual, just to monitor and see what's on your report.
Because I know that sometimes inquiries can go on there.
Yeah. But definitely do the research on that annual credit report. I want to say they don't, but don't quote me on that. Far as impacting your score, as far as inquiries, because they are that place where you go to, get your credit information.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to touch on that we may not have hit on?
Well, let's see here. Remember, holiday seasons. I know we want to buy our loved ones, things to make them happy. But if you have a goal or strategy and you want to keep your credit scores healthy and don't put yourself in so much debt, going to the holiday season. I mean, if you have to, just have a plan of action in place to where once it's over that you're going to knock that debt back down. If it's not for home qualifying purposes, just keep your credit and understand what's going to impact your credit as you're going along throughout this holiday season. But that's all I have, Gansy.
All right. And, of course, we definitely want to wish each and every one of you that's listening out there and watching out there to have a safe holiday season. We're getting ready to get into the thick and the midst of it. And, of course, y'all take care of each other, and you guys have a great and blessed day. This is Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
All right.